Hey there, true crime fans. This is Anthony Greeno from the True Crime Rewind podcast. We know you love deep dives into shocking cases and gripping mysteries, and that's exactly what we bring you every single week. You're not going to want to miss the latest updates on the Caleb Collins case, the Delphi Murders, the jury trial of Greeno McLeland, where justice really does matter. What's going on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok? Over whatever the hell you're watching from, I'm Anthony Greeno. Be sure to check out our special episodes on the True Crime Rewind podcast, featuring Marv from Beyond the Evidence, where we uncover chilling new details and expose what's really been going on. You can find us anywhere you listen to your favorite podcasts. Like, share, and subscribe to stay up to date with all things true crime. And while you're at it, don't forget to support the show on PayPal, Cash App, or Venmo. Your support helps us bring you even more in-depth investigations. Links in the description. Hello everyone, welcome back to Beyond the Evidence, the channel where justice matters. In collaboration with True Crime Rewind podcast host, I am Anthony Greeno, and we are live on scene in Delphi. Marv bringing it on air from the studio. But tonight, we're your host. And today, I'm going to show you how I use one of our affiliate sponsors, Opus Clip. Clip Anything, we're diving into a tool that's revolutionizing content creation. For storytellers like us, Opus Clip.
What is Opus Clip?
Opus Clip is an advanced AI-driven tool designed to transform your long-form videos into engaging short clips. Whether you're a podcaster, YouTuber, educator, or business owner, this tool saves you time and effort by automatically identifying the most captivating moments in your videos. With Opus Clip, you can turn long-form videos into viral shorts, automatically add captions for better engagement, edit and refine clips with ease, add or remove chapters for better organization, and now, they've introduced their latest game-changing feature, AI multimodal clipping.
What is AI multimodal clipping?
This new feature elevates Opus Clip by using AI to analyze both speech and visuals to create even smarter, more engaging short clips. Here's how it works. It understands what's being said and selects the best moments. It detects emotions and facial expressions, ensuring your clips are highly engaging. It automatically adds captions with perfect timing to keep your audience hooked. All of this means you don't have to spend hours editing. AI does it for you in seconds.
How to use Opus Clip?
Using Opus Clip is super simple. Let me walk you through it. 1. Upload your video, just drag and drop your long-form content. Copy and paste a YouTube link. Upload from a device or drive. 2. Select the length range of your desired clips. The auto selection is 90 seconds or less. You can select the length of your choice. If you were lost already, then let me stop and break it down real quick. If you stream live for 1 hour and after the stream, you copy and paste the video stream link URL. Paste it into Opus Clip. Select 60-second clips. Let AI do its magic. The tool analyzes your content and suggests the best clips, and will instantly, within just a few minutes, deliver 61-minute clips in either 16:9, which is typical for YouTube, and 9:16 for TikTok, Instagram, and vertical media footage. 3. The best part about the clip is each one comes with a rating, determining which videos are the best of all that were clipped. You also have options for adding text stickers, captions, stock footage, or even AI-generated B-roll, all at the click of a few buttons. Customize if needed, edit, add, or remove captions. Tweak the formatting, use the scheduler within the site to attract more viewers using Opus Clip. Collaborate and share your product with them. In just minutes, you have high-quality shorts ready to go. But do you know what the best part about Opus Clip is? Clip Anything. This new advanced state-of-the-art artificially intelligent, multi-model AI clipping tool that locates, analyzes, and extracts the clips you want. So now no more digging through hours of live streams to find that certain moment. With Clip Anything, you give the prompts, it brings the clips. This tool can identify moments based on actions, sounds, emotions, characters, dialogue, and instructive obedience to tasks rendered. Caption your videos for free. But to save credits and unwanted clipping, simply adjust the bar to the correct start and end point, and bam, just like that. With Greeno Productions, we make dreams reality.
At Greeno Productions, they've been utilizing Opus Clip to enhance content for the True Crime Rewind podcast. By converting longer episodes into engaging short clips, they've been able to reach wider audience, establishing top names in true crime television and media. Together, the fight for justice, working with senators, law enforcement, and victims advocates. Tired of searching live streams to find that one moment? Now, with Greeno Productions affiliate sponsors, and when you use the custom link, they get a kickback, and you get the discounts. It's a win-win. But what the hell is a prompt?
A prompt is a command or instruction given to the AI, ordering it to complete a task. For example, I say phrases, and use the tool for things like this. Find the moment where Greeno goes down the hill.
Create a compilation of the answers provided by Baldwin.
Zrenia. Or if you're really smart, you'll begin to learn as it learns, and prompt things like this.
Find the moments where Brad Rossi makes intentional, misleading, or false statements.
Clip together the moments where someone got angry during the stream.
Or find the moment where Greeno threatened someone.
How about locate the moments where Anthony Greeno is called a killer?
This isn't just for us. You can use it too. No editing or appearance required to try it out. Start now and receive 50% off with this link listed in the description and chat below. And you can utilize this site just as easy as me. Trust me, it's as simple as convicting a bridge guy.
Do you want more from the Delphi Murders Rewind podcast? Then head on over to YouTube. Where Case Closed with CJ and True Crime Investigates have merged. True Crime YouTube channel, The Pursuit. Now get ready to take your live streams to the next level. With StreamYard, you can broadcast live to multiple platforms, invite guests effortlessly, and even air pre-recorded videos live. It's the ultimate tool for professional live streaming. Transform your live streams with StreamYard and create a more professional-looking studio.
In broad daylight
Don't miss
near a
out on this
historic bridge.
game-changing
But what started
platform.
as a devastating
Click the
local
affiliate
crime
link
has
in the
revealed
description
something
of this
far more
episode.
sinister. An organized network of online predators operating across multiple countries and platforms.
The way this case keeps unfolding with new layers is absolutely chilling. What began as the Delphi investigation has exposed a sophisticated criminal enterprise hiding in plain sight.
Let's break down what we know. In February 2017, 13-year-old Abigail Williams and 14-year-old Liberty German were killed near the Monon High Bridge in Indiana. But here's where it gets interesting. The night before, Liberty had been messaging with someone using the Anthony Shot's social media profile.
And that profile turned out to be quite sophisticated, right? Using stolen photos of a male model to create this perfect teenage heartthrob persona.
Exactly. And when investigators dug deeper, they found that Keegan Klein, who admitted creating the profile, had been operating across multiple platforms. We're talking thousands of messages to young girls, using apps like Snapchat, Instagram, and most notably, Yubo.
Well, that's where things get really dark. Klein allegedly described Yubo as a place where extremely disturbing content was being traded for significant amounts of money. What does that tell us about the scope of this operation?
It suggests we're looking at something much bigger than a local predator. The FBI's analysis of the Anthony Shot's account showed different writing styles in the messages. Some used proper punctuation, others used all caps or specific abbreviations. It's like watching two different personalities emerge through the text.
And then Richard Allen enters the picture. while he's been charged with the murders, have explicitly stated believe he didn't act alone. How does that fit into this larger network?
That's where the timing gets really interesting. Klein was interviewed right after the murders, but wasn't arrested until 2020. Then there's that mysterious 40-day search of the Wabash River, after Klein was taken from jail under a sealed court order.
And just weeks later, they're searching Richard Allen's home. That can't be coincidental.
What's particularly disturbing is how this case has exposed the evolution of predator tactics. They're using multiple platforms, coordinating activities, and even monetizing their crimes. The international aspect, with Yubo being based in France, just adds another layer of complexity.
So we're essentially looking at a criminal enterprise that's adapted perfectly to the digital age, using social media as both hunting ground and marketplace.
Exactly, and here's what keeps me up at night. Prosecutors have indicated there's another suspect out there, but they're being very careful about releasing information. The sealed documents suggest there might be even more disturbing details yet to come to light.
You know what's truly frightening? Wondering how many similar operations might be out there right now using these same sophisticated tactics.
Well, let's look at the numbers. Thousands of messages, multiple devices, connections across at least 3 major social media platforms, and potential links to international trafficking. This isn't just about catching a killer anymore. It's about exposing a network that's potentially still operating.
And that's what makes this case so significant for understanding modern criminal behavior. It shows how online threats can materialize into real-world violence in devastating ways.
Looking ahead, this case might fundamentally change how we approach online safety. It's no longer enough to just monitor individual platforms or look for lone predators. We need to be aware of these coordinated networks operating across multiple jurisdictions.
The really sobering thought is that the murders might just be the tip of the iceberg, the one case that finally exposed this darker underground network.
And that's what makes this case so crucial. It's not just about solving a murder anymore. It's about understanding and confronting a new kind of criminal enterprise that's emerged in our digital age. One that's sophisticated, coordinated, and potentially more dangerous than anything we've seen before. Welcome back to True Crime Rewind, the podcast where we uncover the details, dive into the law, and piece together the truth behind the stories that captivate and haunt us. Today, we're continuing our deep dive into the Delphi case. But this time, we're re-breaking down the timeline of legal events surrounding Richard Allen's incarceration, including the controversial safekeeping order, the high-stakes bail bond, and the debate over his legal representation. Get ready, because this is where the story gets complex and where the law and emotions collide.
This is the True Crime Rewind podcast. Rewind. True Crime Rewind podcast. Oh.
Segment 1. The beginning of the legal debate. Our story begins on October 27, 2022. That's the day Kathy Allen, Richard Allen's wife, retained attorney Brett Gibson. She paid him $5,000 as a retainer at 6:02 p.m. with hopes that he could free her husband with a high-paid lawyer. On the same day, Gibson wrote a letter to the Carroll County Sheriff's Department claiming that he was representing Richard Allen. At this point, you'd think Allen had his legal representation locked in, right? Well, not so fast. Despite being retained, Gibson never filed a formal appearance with the court, and that's as critical because under Indiana Trial Rule 3.1, an attorney must file an appearance to officially represent a client in court. This oversight would later play a significant role in Allen's legal struggles. But before we dive into that, let's move forward to the next key date. Segment 2. The safekeeping order and a lynching. On November 3, 2022, Circuit Court Judge Benjamin Diener issued a safekeeping order. This order allowed Richard Allen to be transferred out of the Carroll County Jail to a more secure facility, citing imminent danger. The judge's findings were clear. Allen's safety was at risk, not just from inmates, but from members of the public who were outraged by the brutal murders of Abby Williams and Libby German. In a small, tight-knit community like Delphi, where everyone knows everyone, the outrage was palpable. People had made public statements about wanting to harm Allen, and the court wasn't going to take any chances. In the order it states, the court was attempting to ignore the maelstrom of events from the public. Diener goes on to say, the public's bloodlust for information before it exists is extremely dangerous, and when the public handles misinformation with public disregard, we all are not safe. Judge Diener, in his recusal in the most important parts that discuss the well-being of Allen, the grounds for the order, the public interest and scrutiny received from sealing the 250 documents in the probable cause affidavit for Richard Allen, stating that content creators have already been using photos of him and his family in their videos covering the case on platforms such as YouTube. Diener handed down the order, slammed the gavel, and then recused himself from the case, and ordering that no other judicial officer would be permitted to serve or preside over this case due to potential bias and conflict of interest. He orders Allen transferred to the Department of Corrections for safekeeping under protective custody, fearful of his safety. And so why did he have to move to a prison instead of another county jail? Let's rewind 138 years, 1887. That's because the last big high-profile case in Carroll County, a man named Abner Green allegedly abducted and murdered Luella Mabbitt, who was a distant relative of mine. Ironically, her father, a prominent farmer living across from Michael Katstad's house off 200 on the Crooked Road to Flora, which is the same road Abby and Anna and Richard Allen live on. Green was being held in Michigan City Prison for safekeeping after the community became outraged over the crime. When Green was brought back to Carroll County, where he was to be released after a flaw was found in the indictment, a technicality, that wouldn't determine his guilt or innocence, but a mere incorrect spelling of the name was turning this alleged killer free. The following day, 156, plus another 150 standing by at the ready, rode into Delphi on horseback. With bandanas covering their face, they held up the sheriff's department, demanded the keys to the jail, broke in while holding the sheriff's department in custody in his own jail, taking the prisoner and hanging him at the sharp curve at the crook in the road on Brumbaugh's farm. After the dust settled, no one was charged. A man was lynched in front of a town, yet no one saw a thing. A photograph of the man dead hanging was posted in the local newspaper. Now, the Carroll County Comet, but everyone denied being there, or seeing anyone else there either. In the end, a man was killed, without due process of law. But the mere mention that he was the perpetrator by a high-class farmer was enough for Delphi. Before being strung up on the old rickety tree, Green said he was innocent, and that Luella was safe in Texas with a man, hiding from her abusive father. But this only enrages the crowd, which then it's described as a snake spooked the horses and the wagon was pulled out from under Green, leading him to a quick death. Months later, a woman arrived on a train in Flora. The train depot manager noticed the woman, resembling Luella Mabbitt, and when he went outside to get a better look, all he found was a briefcase with the engraved initials LM. So fast forward 138 years later, here we are again. Delphi has metal detectors. More modern equipment has had all eyes and scrutiny instilled upon an innocent community seeking justice, and has learned a great lesson and ultimately became closer by actions of unity. So, Allen was moved. But his defense team later argued that this move was illegal and that his isolation amounted to cruel and unusual punishment. Segment 3. Allen's plea for a public defender. On November 9, 2022, Richard Allen took matters into his own hands. He wrote a letter to the court explaining that he could no longer afford private legal representation. In the letter, Allen said he hadn't anticipated the cost of hiring an attorney for a trial of this magnitude. This marked a turning point in the case, as Allen formally requested the court to appoint public defenders to represent him. Just 5 days later, on November 14, 2022, attorneys Andrew Baldwin and Brad Rossi entered their appearances as Richard Allen's public defenders. From that point forward, they became his official legal counsel, stepping into the case to fight on his behalf. Segment 4, the defense's motion and the debate over bail. By December 2022, Baldwin and Rossi filed a motion to have Richard Allen released on his own recognizance, arguing that the conditions of his confinement were inhumane. Allen was being held on a $20 million bail bond, which required $20,000 cash and collateral property, equal to the full amount of the bond. For the Allen family, this was unattainable. The defense team also pointed out that Allen had been held in protective custody, isolated from the outside world, since his arrest. They claimed that this isolation was not only unnecessary, but was also being used as a tactic to break him mentally before trial. Segment 5, Indiana Law and Case Law. Now, let's talk about the law. Under Indiana Code 3533.11.1, a judge has the authority to issue a safekeeping order if there is evidence that the detainee's safety is at risk. In this case, Judge Diener found that the threats against Allen, both from inside the jail and from the public, were significant enough to justify the move. Additionally, in State v. Adams, the court upheld the use of safekeeping orders when there was clear evidence that a defendant faced imminent danger while in custody. And, in Bell v. Wolfish, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that restrictive conditions for pretrial detainees are permissible as long as they serve a legitimate government objective, like ensuring safety. So, while the defense argued that Allen's treatment was cruel and unusual, Indiana law and case precedent suggest that the court acted within its authority to protect him. Segment 6, Conclusion. In the end, the timeline of events tells a story of chaos, legal battles, and questions of fairness. Richard Allen's journey from being represented by Brett Gibson to requesting public defenders to being moved under a safekeeping order highlights just how complex this case has become, not just legally but emotionally and morally. In Indiana, it is but required to have counsel present at the time of safekeeping if the court finds probable cause for the issuance of the order. In this case, Diener felt he wasn't safe as judge, nor was anyone else. Also, Kathy Allen retained Gibson to represent Allen on October 27, 2022, and Richard Allen wrote a letter requesting a public defender from the White County Jail. That is postmarked on November 1, 2022, just 5 days after his wife retained a lawyer. In Allen's letter, and confirms the non-refundable retainer, plus if the case proceeded to trial, then an additional several $100,000 would need to be paid. Kathy and Rick decided they didn't have the funds to hire private counsel and called the $5,000 a loss. Or if Mr. Gibson was nice enough, he may have reimbursed some of the fee, but did some based on his case workload that he had already begun within that 5 days, which appears was nothing except an email. Gibson did not file with the court because of Allen and his family's decision to proceed with court-appointed counsel, therefore making argument moot and without just cause. The law provides answers, but the scars left by this crime continue to weigh heavily on the community of Delphi and everyone involved in the case. As we untangled the timeline, examined the law, and explored the emotional weight of this case. Make sure to subscribe, share, and stay tuned for more updates.
I think just your experience in general, whether it's you start off as a defense attorney and move to a prosecutor, or whether you just start off as a prosecutor and have a career as a prosecutor, I think your experience as an attorney is what plays into your decisions on witness order, what exhibits to put in, all those kind of things. I do think as being a defense attorney, it gives me that unique experience to kind of view things from the other side that gives you the knowledge and the wherewithal to say, okay, what order am I going to put the witnesses in? What exhibits are we going to produce to the court? In this situation, this is the first time I had worked with two other attorneys on the case, and so we would have open discussions about what is the best way to move forward, what is the best strategy for trial, what is the best witness order, those kind of things. So it's very much a group effort.
Today's guest is Carroll County Prosecutor Nicholas McLeland, who has been at the forefront of seeking justice for these young girls. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the True Crime Rewind. Joining us is a guest you might not expect to see on my channel, a man I've spoken poorly about, but on the flip side, a man that I support in his professional capacity in the case against convicted bridge guy, Richard Allen. Today's guest is Carroll County Prosecutor Nicholas McLeland, who has been at the forefront of seeking justice for these young girls. Mr. McLeland, thank you for being here. The community's grief was palpable.
Thank you, Anthony. It's an honor to discuss this case and shed light on the efforts to bring justice to Abby and Libby.
The Anthony Schatz social media profile
Certainly.
has been a topic of significant interest. During the final press conference on December 20th, 2024, I inquired about the status of the investigation into this account and its potential connection to the case, given that Keegan Kline, associated with this profile, was reportedly the last person to communicate with Liberty. Can you provide any updates on this aspect? It's been reported that Keegan Kline pointed to his father, Tony Kline, as another individual who had access to the Anthony Schatz account,
our primary goal
given the
was to
proximity
ensure
of
a
the
thorough
Kline residence in
investigation
Peru to Richard
hold the
Allen's parents'
perpetrator
home in
accountable.
Mexico, Indiana. Has any
The community's
connection been
pain underscored
established
the
between the
urgency
Klines and Allen?
and importance of the investigation.
In the course of the investigation,
essential
there
to
was a
approach the
significant
case with
focus
both
on the
sensitivity
Emily Ann
and
45
determination.
profile, which was
We were
used to
committed to
communicate with
transparency,
young girls.
keeping the
Some
public
speculate
informed while
that this
safeguarding the
profile
integrity of the
could have been
investigation.
used by individuals other than Keegan Kline, possibly even Richard Allen. Has any evidence emerged to support this theory? Richard Allen's confession provided detailed insights into the crime, including his motivations and actions. However, there are lingering questions about how he knew the girls would be on the Monon High Bridge that day. Is there any evidence to suggest he had prior communication with them?
While I must be cautious due to ongoing legal
or was
proceedings,
informed by another party?
I can share that a combination of digital evidence and forensic analysis played crucial roles.
The investigation also delved into potential connections to a broader network of child predators, possibly involving trafficking. Has any evidence been found to support the theory of a larger network at play?
A video recovered from Libby German's phone. This video, along with an unspent .40 caliber round found at the crime scene that was linked to Allen's firearm, were pivotal pieces of evidence.
DNA evidence has been a focal point in this case. With advancements in genetic genealogy, has there been progress in analyzing DNA from the crime scene to identify potential accomplices or other individuals involved?
I understand the public's interest in this angle. The Anthony Schatz profile was indeed part of our investigation. However, as this pertains to ongoing investigative efforts, I'm limited in what I can disclose. Our primary focus has always been to ensure a comprehensive investigation. The geographical proximity you've mentioned is noted. However, establishing a direct connection between individuals requires substantial evidence. At this juncture, I cannot comment on specific relationships or associations, especially when they pertain to ongoing investigations. The utilization of various online personas to exploit young individuals is a disturbing aspect of this case. While we have investigated multiple profiles, I must refrain from discussing specific details or individuals associated with them, as it could compromise ongoing investigative efforts. Understanding the sequence of events leading up to the crime is crucial. While Allen's confession shed light on many aspects, certain details remain under investigation. To preserve the integrity of these efforts, I cannot divulge specific information at this time. The safety and well-being of our community, especially our youth, are of utmost importance. While we continue to explore all possibilities, I must emphasize that sharing specific details could jeopardize ongoing investigations. Rest assured, we are committed to uncovering any networks that pose a threat to our community. Advancements in forensic science, particularly in genetic genealogy, have provided valuable tools in criminal investigations. While I cannot comment on specific findings, I can assure you that we are utilizing all available resources to analyze evidence and pursue justice.
In previous statements, you've mentioned the possibility of more bad actors being involved.
The term bad actors refers to individuals who may have played a role in the commission of the crime or in activities related to it. This belief stems from various facets of the investigation. However, as these matters are still under active investigation,
what about tips and information What should the public know about this as we end today?
They're encouraged to call in tips about anything they find that they feel, and sometime, even if they don't feel like it pertains to something. It just needs to be truthful information based on facts and not theories, unsupported with evidence. And that goes with any case. If you see or hear something you find concerning, turn it over to law enforcement and let the investigators decide if it's part of the puzzle or not. Don't make that comparison on your own. But hey, Anthony, I gotta run. I gotta be in court in about 15 minutes. But thank you for the opportunity, and I wish you the best on your work.
And keep searching for the answers in a world shrouded with tarnished reputations, tragic ends, and conspiracy theories. Every saint has a past, and every sinner has a future. Because the truth is out there. Somewhere. On that note, everybody, Anthony Greeno. You're listening to the True Crime Rewind podcast. Until next time, as always, keep it Southern style, y'all.
Crime Live. Like, share, subscribe, and get notified. Follow them on Facebook and TikTok. Stay tuned on X Worldwide. Greeno's got the camera. Like, share, subscribe, and get notified. Follow them